Cardiff. He was in the newspaper. He's been in the newspaper for several weeks now. Mike Crates works at Ashton's in Cardiff. How many years have you been competing in the championship? 40th year competing as a fishmonger. And you come back because you enjoy doing it? Because of the love of fish, okay? This guy is 40 years, 1 year after the other competing. Amazing.
Yeah, well done, Mike.
Never win it one, you don't like him that much.
Okay, we're going to start the next demonstration. I'll just help him out tidy his microphone up so it doesn't wrap around his neck or anything. Yours, that's it. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this young man's, well, this old man's name is David Bennett.
Old?
25. Dave works for M&J Seafoods. So, they process fish for the catering sector. We've got a mix of fishmongers from the industry. And Dave's going to do a demonstration for us. But the first fish we're going to do is not here yet, because we're going to get a special fish for Dave, which is this. As part of the competition tomorrow, there's set tasks that the fishmongers have to do, and when we're sorting the fish, because we do have to sort the fish out in the mornings, the trout, that is a trout, believe it or not, that they've sent are absolutely incredible quality. They've been donated by a company called Dawn Fresh, who actually farm trout, and the large trout, have you ever seen a large trout look so beautiful?
Oh, gorgeous.
So, what we'd like Dave to do, I think we should ask him to fillet, skin and pin bone this trout, just to show you the quality. How heavy do you reckon it is, Dave? 4 kilo?
4.5 kilo.
So nearly 10 pound in weight, okay?
Right. First thing we're going to do, because it's a slimy fish, we'll just put the cloth down to stop it sliding everywhere.
Why is it slimy, Dave?
Because it's fresh.
Because it's a freshwater farm fish. So freshwater fish, because there's no salt in the water, tend to have a very thick slime. Sea fish don't have as thick a slime, and it's easier to wipe it off because there's salt in the sea. Okay, so there's different ways of preparing freshwater fish and sea fish, isn't there, Dave, because of the slime?
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the head off. Now you cut the head off, cutting into it, going for maximum yield, as you see there. Turn it over, so the back's towards you, gives you more leverage to cut through that back down.
Oh no.
Like that. So, maximum yield. Sorry, look. Now, next thing we do, it's full, it hasn't been gutted, so I'll turn it round, and I'm going to gut it. One cut all the way up. If the fewer cuts you make to any fish, the better the end product will look. So if you just jagged that, it'd be a nasty edge. Take all the guts out in one. Like so, you don't want to see that, do you? You see, always clean up after yourself. Keep constantly cleaning the block. Right. Take a flexible filleting blade. Touch it up on my steel. One cut all the way down the back. Like so. Turn it over the rib bones, down, out through the tail. Now I've left a couple of rib bones on there, just slice them off, like so.
Sure, did you leave rib bones on the fillet?
I've just woken up.
Dave works nights, so it's a privilege to see him during the day. Just one quick thing, Dave, before I go. We have to have a fishmonger here to support Dave, just in case he needs any equipment. This is Terry Martin. Terry Martin is the current champion fishmonger of the year 2011. And tomorrow he's going to challenge his title to retain it to 2012. So Terry will be here to help me, Dave, right?
Okay, cheers. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm trimming this belly flap off. Now it looks a bit wasteful, but that's all cartilage, fat, oily rubbish which you can't eat. So discard that. Turn it around, put it there. Turn the fish over. Again, one cut all the way to the top. Yeah, I'm nervous.
I wouldn't know it.
He's a cool customer. Cool customer.
Again, over the ribs, down, out through the tail. Fillet comes off in one, and that's all the waste you've got there. Discard that. I've left a couple of ribs on, again. Lovely. Trim the flap off, like so. Discard. Now, what we're going to do now, apart from mop up the blood, as you see, I'm always dipping my hand in the bucket, washing, constantly washing down. So you don't want blood on the fillet. We get what we call pin bone pliers. Now on here, all the way down there, what we call pin bones. And I'm going to stand here, patiently, pulling them out. That's a pin bone. You don't want to be swallowing that. Okay? So, professional, take everyone out. You have to bear with me. It's about 30 in each fillet. If you consider I filleted, scaled and pinned 30 of these last night for one customer.
I bet you enjoyed that though.
Well, I bet the customer woke up and went, oh, what was that? Oh, my back.
So there's the same amount of pin bones in this particular tray as a salmon, is that right?
More or less, more or less.
I'm making up there.
Okay. So that's that one done. I shall just do the one. Then you take, this is a stiff staking knife. I've had this years. Make knives last as long as I can. As you get used to the knife you're using, it becomes an extension of your hand. What I'm doing is there's a bit of fat along the back. I'm just trimming that off, like that. Then I'm going to skin this. So you just wiggle your knife in there, and then you push. So what you're looking for is to leave absolutely no meat on the skin. And I'm struggling, it's so fresh. And there you go. Not a dot on it. If you turn over, you see that silver skin. That's what you're looking for. That will hold the moisture in when you're cooking the fish.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
But the other one, I'm going to look at work now.
Let's see me do one, I'll do some.
So what are you going to do next one, Dave?
I am going to wash my dot.
Oh, okay, well, I can do that for you for that.
Right, we have over here 2 mackerel and 2 plaice, which Mr. Lucas lovingly chose for me. So there's bound to be holes in it.
I know you better check, mate. You better check.
Okay.
So what are you going to be doing with the mackerel, Dave?
Well, this mackerel here, I'm going to fillet and V-bone it for you, and this one here is slightly smaller. I'm going to do what we call a butterfly or a cutlet. This makes the, as you see, that's slightly bigger than that one, so that double the size of the fillet of that one. So start with filleting.
Okay, the main thing about mackerel is it's very, very good for you, ladies and gentlemen. Rich in omega-3. Dave's been eating it all his adult life, and in fact 75 years old.
Okay, what I'm looking for is one cut all the way down the fish. Insert this behind the gill, straight down and out. Turn it over. That is a terrible knife. Can I have a look?
Yes. Complaining about the
Occasionally you get fish like this. It looks absolutely beautiful on the outside, but as you can see, you won't want to be eating it. There's not a lot you can do about it. See, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'll go on with this one. What I'm going to do is butterfly this. So I'm going to make
something in the mackerel for you.
Hello? Yeah. Filling some mackerel for some customers in Cardiff. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Sorry about that. Put 2 there, just
Fishmonger. Okay. Butterfly. Make an incision just on the back. Just stopping short of the back line. Lift the fin up. What you're trying to do is make a circular cut, then run your blade all the way down. Now I always leave the tail in. It's easier for handling. A bit of presentation. Make sure you're all the way to the back. Turn it over. exactly, try and do exactly the same cut the other side. What you're looking for is this teardrop effect, like that. Okay, so that's doubled the size of the fillet. That's what we call a butterfly or a cutlet.
That's good, because if you've got like a really small fish, especially for the restaurant trade, which myself and Dave actually supply, and they're looking for good plate coverage as well, so it's going to look good on the plate. And obviously it looks fantastic. You can do that with any round fish, you can do it with the trout, you can do it with loads of different fish, and it just gives you good plate coverage and looks superb. I shan't know, Dave.
This one I'm going to single fillet like I did the last one, which I threw away. Insert your blade just behind the fin, all the way down to the tail and out. Left a few ribs on there, just give it a trim off. Like so. There's one fillet. Second side exactly the same. Out in one. Swing. Two fillets. As you can see the difference. Okay.
A little ripple of applause.
And just to finish off these single fillets, you can hand pin them if you want with these pliers, but I find mackerel bones break off in the fish. Looks boneless, but halfway down the fillet there are bones. So my preferred way of doing this is to V-bone. What you do is take your blade, insert it one side of the bones, draw down, second side like so, little snip there, hold it up, pinch, and all the bones will come out in one. So that leaves you with a totally boneless piece of fish. Like that.
What will actually happen as well is, people always say, that's nice, mate, but you've got a big V shape in the middle of the fillet. As soon as you introduce that fillet to heat, it will all close up. So if you're introducing some nice flavours into it, just put it on top, you put a pound for weight, it just seals up, and you can't actually see that.
Third mackerel. What I'm going to do, this is another style of filleting, which I call a fantail. Now what I'm going to do is cut the head off this one, like so, and discard. Now I'm leaving the guts in, so that I can fillet it and leave it whole. Excuse me. Take the filleting blade, draw it all the way down to the tail, and go over the ribs, like so. As soon as you can get to the guts, take the guts out and discard. Like so. Turn it over. Bring the blade all the way down again. Again over the ribs, up to the tail, pull it out. Again, I always leave the tail on big presentation. Foot rinse off, just put some mess on. And that's called the fantail. Now that's designed so that you can stuff that middle there, fold it over and serve it as a headless mackerel. Okay, so that's a fantail. Right, what we got there? Mackerel plates, isn't it?
Well, you know these plates?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Got that cake.
That's still out Easter, baby.
what are you going to do?
I'm going to pan ready the one.
Okay, put yourself on.
Okay. Now pan ready is a misleading term as far as I'm concerned. Up in Birmingham, pan ready used to be skin both sides, headless and trimmed. Where I'm working now, pan ready is black skin off and trimmed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head off, skin both sides. What you do, just make an incision around the belly cavity, turn it round, and score around the head, insert the blade just under the silver skin, nick, turn it round, do exactly the same, that side, like so. Now you can't see what I've done there, but I've loosened the skin off the top of the fish, like so. And you take a cloth, too many cloths. This just gives me something to grip with. And what I'm doing is I'm peeling the skin off. Like so. Yeah, that ripping effect. That's the skin coming off and leaving that silver skin effect on the fish again. Run the fingers through it. Now with one hand I'm pulling the skin off, with the other hand I'm holding the flesh down. Like so. And there's the skin of one. Turn it over, exactly the same this side. Put in reverse.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you come back tomorrow, we're running the UK British Fishmonger of the Year competition 2012. So if you come back tomorrow, there's over 50 fishmongers. We'll be doing this type of work from 9 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're running competitions all day long, one after the other, to be the UK's champion, Dave, isn't he?
Yes.
Dave's a multiple previous winner in his younger days.
I learned everything I know off this man here.
Believe it or not, Dave and I used to work together 30 years ago. Okay, that's how long we've known each other. We used to work on the blocks, didn't we?
Yes. We used to race each other, that's how bad we were. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the head and these fins around here. See, it looks a bit scraggly. So, following the line of the fins, trim the fins off like so. I'll get to this bit here, there's a little spiky bone, I don't know whether you can see that. It's real sharp, I need to remove that as well. Turn it over, trim the other side. Now you can serve it up like that if you want head on, but I prefer to take the head off, which just cut around the head like so with a pair of scissors. And then, just in there, there's a bloodline which needs to come out. You get the scissors in there, scrape. Fill a bucket of water,
Sorry,
clean it out.
I need some clean water. Sorry.
Again, we always use a lot of water.
Very sorry.
That's all right, that's all right. Just to make all those little details make a big difference. So all the blood's out there. Now that is what we call a pan-ready place, like so. Just pop it in a pan, fry it till it's cooked all the way through, serve it up on a plate. Pan-ready.
Just to show you, because of tomorrow, there's the national championships. Let's talk about judging, Dave, because Dave and I are both judges tomorrow. We need to encourage young people into this trade, so that us old guys stand back and become judges to allow the young ones to compete. But tomorrow we have to look at their work while they're doing the work, and then when they're finished, to assess it and mark the fish. So if we were marking this fish, it's not a criticism to Dave, because there's all these things that aren't. So if you can see, there's a little bit of skin on the tail, so they'd lose some marks for that. He's caught the skin there, so we take a couple of marks off for that.
And then some skin there as well. There's a few marks for that.
We also have to check inside the fish, to check that the blood's been beautifully removed, and to be fair to Dave, that's absolutely perfect. There isn't a spot of blood in there, which is brilliant. And then maybe we might just expect them to trim the side up, do you reckon?
To be honest, in the competition, I would have done that.
So that's, yeah, it's not, I'm not criticising. That is the sort of way we have to judge, to separate the best fishmonger of the year from the person that becomes second. You really do have to go down to the fine details.
And sometimes we're just looking for that one little detail. The one little detail that separates one person from another.
That's right. Perfection is best, and perfection is good for you as consumers, because if we get it right, you're going to have a fantastic piece of fish. Right, we're going to sell your fish, Dave. We sell this salmon, we're going to sell, we'll take trout, beautiful trout. 15 quid for the whole fish.
You're joking.
Does anybody want to buy those 2 fillets for £15?
Pass them over off in the
We'll just pin bone it quickly. We've got 3 mackerel in a place, and we'll let those go for £10 if somebody wants them. Yep, so they're sold as well. And give us 2 seconds, and then we're going to give you 2 things that are going to be very exciting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a speed challenge on filleting a salmon, and Terry and Dave are going to compete against each other at the same time. Okay? And then we're going to have 2 people demonstrating dressing brown crabs, which is also an interesting thing to see. So the money that we raise from the fish sales goes to the charity. So there's the gentleman's fish that's £10. Thank you very much indeed, sir. That's brilliant. Thank you. Just bag those up, Dave, and then we're done. Yeah, what was it? Okay, if you want to watch Fishmonger at its best, come in and watch your speed filleting competition. It's going to be something to see. Literally, they'll have finished the whole